Laughing to the bank. She can beat the push. I just want the brain. Swerving, switching lanes. Ooh, this isn't safe.
What a weekend in sports. Djokovic finally loses in Wimbledon. Alcaraz is the real deal. He is amazing. He ends Djokovic's reign of terror at Wimbledon. Mexico beat Panama 1-0. Santi Jimenez has his first big moment with the selección. Is this a thing? Is this the start of things looking up for Mexico? Or should we take all of this with a grain of salt? We'll touch on all of that. Also, Messi is officially a player for Inter Miami. He got announced today. He looks good with that jersey. What does that mean for the MLS? All of that on this episode of the Hearts Handle Sports Podcast. Let's get started. Djokovic's reign of terror is finally over. After going years and years of not losing at Wimbledon, after over a decade since his last loss on center court, Alcaraz gets it done. Alcaraz gets it done. Djokovic is no longer the Wimbledon champion. There's people going on like there's those little funny comments where they're like, Djokovic, Wimbledon champion. It doesn't matter when you read this because he was just on that type of tear. But Alcaraz gets it done. This Sunday, July 16th, moment will go down in history as probably maybe the moment that Alcaraz took the reins from Djokovic as the best player in the world. And although he had won the U.S. Open and he had the number one ranking, it was still kind of understood that Djokovic was the best player in the world. You know, some people might still have him there. He did win the Aussie Open. He did win the French Open. He got to the final of Wimbledon. So if he wins the U.S. Open, he'll still probably be regarded as, you know, the main man, the number one, the head honcho. But Alcaraz did win the U.S. Open. He's a current reigning U.S. champion. He's a reigning Wimbledon champion. And he looked good today, man. He looked good after all those nerves that he had at Roland Garros, where, you know, his fitness, it cost him his fitness. Basically, that's the reason he wasn't able to finish Roland Garros semifinal against Djokovic, is because his thoughts got him nervous. The moment was a little too big. You know, playing Djokovic in the semifinal of a Grand Slam, big moment. But he definitely rose to the occasion today, and it didn't always look like that. So that made it more impressive. The fact that Alcaraz got spanked 6-1 in the first set, and he came back and he won. Like, that's so impressive. That's so impressive. Like the magnitude. Like, it could have been so easy for him to be like, you know, it's not my day. He's won these like last four. He has the most Grand Slams ever. He's the GOAT. Like, it could have been easy for Alcaraz to pack it in and just go through the motions after getting spanked 6-1, but he bounces back in the second, wins in a tiebreak, and then makes his own 6-1 against Djokovic to take a 2-1 set lead. And then in the fourth, Djokovic, you know, that experience, that winning mentality makes him hang in there, breaks Alcaraz, and we're going to a fifth, which is crazy. Most people would have probably thought Djokovic was going to win that with all the experience, with, you know, all these back-to-back championships that he was defending. Like, it just looked like Alcaraz had taken such a big momentum, like at the end of the third, and for Djokovic to wrestle it back and win the fourth, it kind of felt like it was teetering back towards Djokovic. And the fact that Alcaraz was able to get an early break in the fifth and just basically play a flawless fifth, and to start when it was 5-4 and Alcaraz was serving for the match, he lost the first point on a drop shot, and he follows that up love 15 with another drop shot, and he ended up winning the point. But it's just like the mentals on this kid is just insane. Like, this man, he forgets about the last point so quickly, and I think that's one of the most impressive things about him. And there's so many impressive things about him, like his backhand, his mobility, his demeanor, his swagger, his defense, his forehand, his offense, like his drop shots. There's so many things about him, but his mental is just insane. Like love 15, just missed a drop shot, trying to close out the match. You have the GOAT on the other side, and next point you just go for another drop shot. Insane. In that moment, just I could not believe it. Like, this guy is, like I said, he's not just the future, he's the present. The future is now, and his name's Alcaraz. Like, it's insane how good Alcaraz is, and I'm excited. As a tennis fan, I'm so excited to see him. I'm even thinking about getting U.S. Open tickets. Like, I want to go see him live. I want to go see him defend his title. Like, this guy is insane, and he does have some competition around his age. Like, that next gen, I'm kind of over the next gen. Like, I don't think Tsitsipas, Zverev, Medvedev, maybe Medvedev, but all of those guys, even Rublev, and I love Rublev. Like, I think those guys, I think they're gonna have to wait till Djokovic retires, and maybe they'll be able to wrestle one away from Alcaraz. But the main competitors for Alcaraz are probably gonna be Rune and Sinner for sure. Even though he got spanked by Djokovic, but he's played some close matches with Carlos Alcaraz. And then even Musetti has shown some promise. We'll see if he can catch up to the other two. But pretty much Rune and Sinner, like those two, and Alcaraz will be the main guys going forward. I think I rank them above, like, definitely above Zverev and Tsitsipas. Maybe not above Medvedev, because, when he gets hot too. But this is all about Alcaraz, dude. Like, the kid's 20 years old. He's a phenom. He's arrived. He's officially arrived. Like, if you didn't believe it at the U.S. Open and you got some doubts with the way that he wasn't able to really finish Roland Garros, like, this should be it. He's also the first person to win a tournament leading up to Wimbledon, like Queens. I think that was one of the stats rolling around. Like, no player has won a tournament preceding Wimbledon and then won Wimbledon as well. He's already breaking these little records that, you got to be like an older, more established player to be breaking these lower records as your career progresses. He's 20 years old and he's beating records. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. And he's humble and he has a swagger. Like, when he scores a big point, he looks at his box and he just lifts his chin up. Like, I find that so cool. Like, I like people that have personality and swagger, and they bring some of that other sports swagger into tennis. It's not just, suit and tie and stuff like that, and like robotic. Like, I like that. I like players to have a little bit of personality, and Alcaraz just has everything. He has the personality, he has the game, he has the respect for the other opponent. Like, he has everything. This guy is insane, and I'm privileged to be able to see him. And Djokovic's reign of terror at Wimbledon is over. By no means does this mean Djokovic is washed or anything. Like, this guy put up a great match. He still looks really good. Maybe his serving wasn't that good today, and there were some moments where he could have played a point a little better. Also, the wind didn't help, but I think Djokovic still has like 3, 4, 5 good years. So I'm super pumped to see this Djokovic and Alcaraz rivalry progress. And like I said, I would not be surprised if they meet in the U.S. Open final in just 2 months' time, or like less than 2 months' time. I could definitely see that. Mexico defeat Panama 1-0 with a beautiful solo goal by Santi Jimenez. And these are the type of moments, these are the types of, progress and talent and potential that we've seen from Santi Jimenez, not just in Cruz Azul, but now in Europe. And, this is the reason the Mexican fans were so upset that Tata Martino didn't take him to the World Cup. This is why we're kind of upset that Jimmy Lozano hasn't given him that starting position over a guy like Henry Martin. Like, Henry Martin, for a number 9, for a Mexican forward, like, all time, like, he's pretty mediocre. He's not the best. He's not the worst. We've had like forwards like him before, like Chuletita and stuff like that. Like, he if he's your starting 9, you could definitely do better. You could definitely do worse. He gets a lot of hate, but he does do pretty good hold up play. And he was like 1 or 2 inches away from giving Mexico the 1-0 lead in the first 15 minutes of the game, 20 minutes of the game. So I do think Henry Martin is a decent forward, but I think he would be better as a sub. If you have Santi as your starter, you have high level player with a lot of energy. He's pacier. He could offer more stuff. And then once you start sending crosses at the end and you need players, Henry Martin can go body them up and use his size and stuff. But you know what? I'm not the coach. They could do whatever they want. But that's the reason that the fans have been clamoring for Santi Jimenez. He showed it right there. The pace, the finishing with the left foot, like the celebration. I feel like he loves the Mexican team too. So this is his first big moment with the selección. So hopefully this is the start of, a very successful career with the selección for Santi Jimenez. And overall, it was a good game. Panama, hats off to Panama. Like they played really good. Like this is probably the best I've seen Panama play. They were playing out the back. Their players were playing very physical. They had their chances, or they had their half chances. Like I never thought that they weren't dangerous. I never thought that they weren't really although Ochoa didn't really have any saves. He had 2, I think, and they weren't anything special. I did always think that Panama could have a little breakaway somewhere, or they always looked like, they could string a couple passes and they were one pass away from potentially putting real threat into Ochoa's net. But, want to give them props. They're definitely growing as a nation. Their football looks better and better as the years go by. And for Mexico, we got to take this with a grain of salt. Like I said, the U.S. didn't take their first team. Canada didn't take their first team. Mexico was missing some players, but the main thing we wanted to see was Mexico play better, and they did this Gold Cup, barring the Qatar game, which I did go, so I'm still upset about that. Just wasted my money to see 0 goals by the Mexican team. Anyways, it's okay to celebrate this Gold Cup. It's nice seeing the Mexican players, celebrate and have a good time. The ambiance of the team can never be, you can never, diminish the importance of having a good locker room and having players that have fun with each other and that are friends and enjoy, getting called up, and there's a good camaraderie to the team. So by all means, celebrate the win, and it's good. But Mexico just dropped a little video on their social media talking about I don't know. The video made it seem too much. They're talking about how we heard everything, and you call us the worst generation, but this is you guys still got demolished by the US 3-0, and it's still a bad summer overall. Although we did get the Gold Cup, like I said, it's not our fault that US didn't bring their A team and Canada didn't bring their A team, but when they did, we got spanked. We got cooked. And it was bad. We looked terrible. So winning the Gold Cup is great and it should be applauded, but it doesn't fix the problems that we've had. It doesn't erase that. If the US would have been there with their A team and then we punked them and then we beat them in the final, that's a different story. That would feel more okay, we're going in the right direction. Now it still feels a little incomplete. It feels like in college when you get an incomplete. It's incomplete. You got to hold that video that they dropped where we're on the right steps. This is the start of something new. You got to wait for that next big match, whenever that is. So I think they jumped the gun a little bit on that video that they dropped where they're getting all sappy and sentimental and we heard you and all this stuff. It's the Gold Cup. It should be celebrated. They did look better. But there's still a lot of changes that need to be done. We're done of hearing these empty promises. There's going to be change, and there's no relegation in the Mexican League. They keep appointing all these coaches that the fans and the players don't want. The youth players don't get chances with their national team. They put these crazy price tags on Mexican players so that they don't go to Europe. There's a lot of things that need to be done for the fans to be happy and to really if you're gonna drop that video, there should be okay, we're gonna go play Libertadores, we're gonna go play Copa Sudamericana, we're gonna go put a cap on how many foreign players they could have, we're gonna bring back relegation, there's gonna be more transparency with the directivos, it's not gonna be just about making money, we're actually gonna turn Mexico into a powerhouse. We need to see all of that before you drop that video and you're try to get all sappy and make it seem like everything's changed. The only thing that changed between Mexico losing, getting embarrassed by the US 3-0 in Vegas, and right now was Jimmy Lozano being the new head coach, and the players seem to really react to that. But there's rumors, and the directivo dropped that video before the final on Friday that it doesn't matter what happens, that Jimmy is not guaranteed to keep the coaching position. So it kind of looks like they're not going to keep him. So, miss me or miss us with that little sappy video. Like, keep Jimmy Lozano or a real competent coach and make some real changes to the soccer structure in Mexico. Like relegation, invest in the youth, let them go to Europe, a lot of stuff. So don't just take this Gold Cup victory and market it as this is the big switch that this is where we turned. Like nothing really turned. Like the players played a little better under Jimmy. The competition got weaker. We took advantage of that. We still need to make significant changes. But like I said, Mexico, it's okay to celebrate. Got the Gold Cup. They look better, especially against Jamaica. Like it's all good. Celebrate it. But I think they could have held off again on dropping that video. It rubbed me the wrong way just a little bit. And to conclude, Messi is officially an Inter Miami player. He gets announced to the team on Sunday. He makes his introduction to the fans. And I must say, although I am a CR7 guy, I am a Cristiano Ronaldo guy, I'm kind of pumped. It's crazy to see Messi in an MLS jersey. It's crazy to think that he's going to be playing his football in the United States, which it's just insane. Like to think that his European, part of his career is over. It's pretty crazy. Excited to maybe get a chance to see him. Maybe not this season because there's not too many games on the West Coast, but next season it'll be nice to go see him. I'm also curious to see how much he plays. Is he going to be a part-timer? Is he going to be, picking which games he plays, or is he going to actually play the full season? I'm excited to see that. It's also nice to see him happy. It looks like he's very happy. Like the whole presentation, he had a smile on his face. It looked like he really wants to be here. The fact that, there's already videos of him just shopping like a regular person in Miami. That's pretty cool. Like soccer has grown a lot. Football has grown a lot in the U.S., but, the fact still remains that there's probably a lot of people here in the U.S. that don't even know who he is, which is crazy. But I think he's going to enjoy that, the simplicity, the being able to do day-to-day stuff without having the whole world recognize you. I think he's going to appreciate that. And, yeah, dude, we got Messi in the MLS. The MLS is definitely marketing this, really good. Like, they keep using the word GOAT, and, for a lot of people and for most people, he is the GOAT. So it makes sense, but they're using that. They're putting that on all their social medias, like the GOAT place here and all that stuff. So it's good for the MLS, good for Messi. I think it's going to be a good partnership. Like I said, he pretty much did everything in Europe with Barca, and he won everything. He won all the local trophies with PSG. Not that that's saying a lot, but I'm pretty sure he scratched his itch to, win a couple stuff without Barcelona. He got the World Cup. So, like I said, Messi, I think the reason he came here is because he got the World Cup. He got his title. He's regarded as the GOAT now. Like he could come chill in the United States and live a comfortable life. Live in Miami, go get groceries, go to the park, not get recognized by everybody like in Argentina or like in Spain or anywhere pretty much except in the US. So good for him, good for the MLS, and hopefully I get to see him live at least once in this next couple of years. But what do you guys think? You guys think he's going to be a part-timer or a full-timer? You guys think he's going to thrive in the MLS? Or you guys think it's going to be just I'm basically retired, I'm going to wear the jersey, once every couple of weeks, or, I'm going to get injured every couple months, take a couple of weeks off? How do you guys think this Messi MLS experiment is going to go? For me, I hope he plays the whole season, and he kind of like Beckham. Beckham took it pretty seriously when he came here, and it was great to see that. So I'm hoping more of the same for Messi, but we'll see. Like I said, he basically completed football, so if he wants to come here and chill, no one could really blame him too much. But that should do it for this episode of the Hard to Handle Sports Podcast. My name is Ismael San Juan. Thank you so much if you made it to the end. Until next time, have a good day. Check my mentions when I
I slide, no sudden moves. On my goons are stretching. And I'm taxing for the fee. On my damn